trying to figure out some way to get that on air sign. I've actually got here, it's here, but wherever I put it, you can't see it lit up. I've tried putting black card behind it, and because I have the ring light behind the laptop screen, I think that affects it. So at the time I bought it, Mike said, oh, that's a waste of money. I said, no, that'd be really good for my lives. I was kind of thinking, hang it up. Well, this space here, this white space, to hang it there. And he even went to the trouble find me a lead, because it's one that you've got to plug into your computer to make it work. So he even got me a long lead so I could run it from here all the way around, because I said it needs to be away, because, you know, the cats often come up. But no, I just use it on my intro now. Anyway, that sort of says the mood I'm in today. Big trauma here, big trauma. This is not the place for it. This is my escape from trauma. And when I'm up for it, I will be filling you in on devastating things going on here. And we're just spiraling down the money pit. Spiraling down the money pit. So let's just pop this up. PayPal link. Okay, that's as far as I'm going with that today. Let's have a look at the comments. We have Sharon Ann Jackson is on. And don't forget, guys, that Sharon has a channel. So do go and check out her new channel and cheer her on. So go along there and say hello. And don't forget, when you visit a channel, do let them know how you knew of their channel. It's always interesting to see. Let's go straight into this, because tomorrow is yet another holiday in Cyprus. They literally run almost back-to-back holidays in Cyprus, don't you know? Did I say tomorrow's a holiday? No. Wednesday is a holiday, and I'm pretty sure that will be the same for many of you. Do you want to see my ceiling? No, probably not. Tomorrow is May Day. No, not tomorrow. Wednesday. Wednesday is May Day or Labour Day. See, when no one's in the chat, I have to just argue with myself. So I'm going to read you a little bit about May Day or Labour Day in Cyprus. And it says, each year throughout Cyprus, as in many other parts of Europe, the first day of May is celebrated as May Day or Labour Day. Although no longer really used as a day for workers to campaign about issues that affect them, the day is a public holiday. Many people take the opportunity to spend the day with friends and family and to enjoy a day out somewhere. Many towns and cities also host some kind of special May Day festivity. As a day of celebration, the holiday has ancient origins, and it can relate to many customs that have survived into modern times. The earliest May Day celebrations appeared in pre-Christian Europe with the festival of Flora, the Roman goddess of flowers. This was closely followed by the celebration of goddess Pomona, who was seemingly responsible for the care and protection of fruit-bearing plants. The village of Pomos has citrus trees, bananas, almond trees, avocado, walnut, pistachio trees, as well as olives. The name of the village is considered to be of ancient Greek origin from the word altar or vomos. It is very likely at one time there existed in the area a temple of a goddess, maybe that of the goddess Pomona, with a famous altar. The idol of Pomos is a prehistoric sculpture which was found in the Cypriot village of Pomos. It dates back to circa 30th century BC and nowadays is on display in the Cyprus Archaeological Museum in Nicosia. And this is a picture of it there. And it goes on to say the sculpture representing a woman with her arms spread was probably used as a fertility symbol. Large numbers of these kind of sculptures have been found in Cyprus in various sizes. The smaller version were worn as amulets around the neck. On May the 1st, 2004, Cyprus became a member of the European Union, and the idol of Pomos, as a good example of Cypriot prehistoric art, was chosen to be displayed on the Cypriot 1 and 2 euro coins. May is the time for the Flower Festival, a colourful pageant known as Anthrosteria, beginning with brightly coloured decked floats and ending with a spectacular flower show. The word derives from the Greek word anthos, which means flower. The festival is a celebration of spring and nature's rebirth, which takes place on the 1st of May in all the towns and villages in Cyprus. Front doors will be decked with wreaths and garlands of flowers, and the already colourful displays in gardens and on balconies will further complement the festival. The streets are filled with flower displays as a magnificent floral parade makes its way with floats and people carrying beautiful fresh flowers and celebrating the rebirth of man and nature. Nature's beauty is celebrated during the flower festival. Everyone will be invited to join in with the party atmosphere, and the village squares and town centres will have other attractions, including delicious fresh food, drink stalls and fairground rides for the children. Traditional English May Day celebrations include Morris dancing and the crowning of a May Queen who is chosen of a young girl of the village. There follows an interactive dance with the dancers weaving brightly coloured ribbons around a maypole. May Day also refers to various labour celebrations conducted that commemorate the fight for the 8-hour day, and in this regard is called International Workers' Day or Labour Day. The idea for a workers' holiday actually began in Australia in 1856. Hope you learnt something there. Let's move on today to Quote Corner for Mondays. So I hope you took heed of that. Okay, let's go on to this. So I'm still reading from my book of after dinner speeches. So it's quite a big book. We have Steve and Tina Jewell in before the joke. You've got here just in time, my friends, for the joke. Do go and check out their channel, guys. Okay, so from my after dinner speech book today, we have this. And it says, a certain pop star had a great desire while he was in Rome to see and be blessed by the Pope. So he bought for himself a spanking new suit and joined the daily parade. But to his regret, His Holiness passed him by without so much of a glance. However, a little further down the line, the Pope stopped and bent down to speak to a raggedly dressed tramp. Being an enterprising chap, as he had to succeed in his profession, the pop star made sure of meeting the tramp after the parade and offered him his new suit along with some money if he would let him have his rags. This the tramp readily agreed to, and the next day the pop star attended the parade again, but dressed in the tramp's clothing in the hope that the Pope would notice him. He succeeded, for the Pope did indeed stop and bent down to speak to him and said, "I thought someone told you yesterday, buzz off, don't come back." So supposedly he recognised him again. Oh dear. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Jolly good. Okay, let's go on to a little new thing we're doing on lives on this channel. And this is a new segment. Do you know what it is? I know what it is. I just can't find where it is. There it is. Here we go. And he's jumped off the wheel. He's jumped off the wheel, and I see today it's landed on number 5. So if you didn't follow that, basically it's my countdown at the beginning of my lives, and then the hamster goes running round the wheel, whatever number it stops on, whatever that picture is on my countdown is what we discuss today. And that poor hamster still needs a name. It's a boy. So we're looking for names for the hamster. So if you have any ideas for that, then let me know. You're laughing. So it landed on number 5. And number 5 on my countdown to my lives on this channel is the high five. And it says, "You've got this." Oh, very appropriate for today, Dawn. Listen to your own words. You've got this. So I'm going to pick 3 quotes and give you 3 positive quotes. The first one is, "Seize every opportunity, Dawn, to smile and laugh. Yes, some things are so sad and extreme that you've got to laugh or you will cry." Hence this ticker tape. The second one is, "You can't be all things. Look for what makes you individual." Look what makes you individual. Yes, some people, I can't abide it when these young people say, when they say, "What's your job?" They say, "I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I'm an actress, I'm a designer." Yeah, people of my generation will know, well, you're not all those things at all. Maybe you even just put your name to many of these things. Okay, the third one is, "Don't follow others or trends. Be yourself. Being different is a unique thing." So that's very true. And I use that a lot on my lives, on my live streams, on my dance channel, when I do my lives there. Okay, let's move along from there. And we're going to go on to, let's come off the chat. And we're going to go on to this. So we're following my book of birds. And today's bird is the fieldfare. I've never heard of that bird. Anyone heard of the fieldfare? We may have seen one. Didn't know such a thing existed, the fieldfare. There are a lot of similar looking birds. We heard a very strange bird this morning, a beautiful song it was singing. Never heard it before. I don't know where it was. Mike couldn't see it. Mike couldn't see it where it was. It sounded like it could have been a big bird. Very pretty song. Not us, says Stephen Tina. Okay, the fieldfare is part of the thrush family. It's 25 centimetres, which is 10 inches. In winter, loud chuckling calls will alert you to the sight of a ragged flock of large thrushes flying past. That was hard to say. These are fieldfares, as much as the heralds of winter as swallows are of summer. A cold spell and a fall of snow sets flocks in motion. This is the time you are most likely to see the fieldfares in your garden together with redwings. And have we done redwings? No, we haven't done redwings yet. Recognition. The fieldfare is a large thrush distinguished by its grey head and rump and chestnut back. Okay, we've got you now. It also has white underwings that flash in flight. Hey, Jeannie's points in. Hello, Jeannie. Let's go and check out Jeannie's channel. And don't forget to comment when you're there and hit the thumbs up. And then it says, we're talking about the fieldfare bird. Feeding. The main fieldfare food is earthworms, snails, and other small animals. Fruit is eaten in winter, especially when animal food is unavailable. Crops of berries, such as hawthorn, I have hawthorn trees, holly and rowan, and windfalls of apples are particular attractions. A single fieldfare will try to defend a tree against all comers. Bird table. Fieldfares are keen on old rotten fruit left out on the ground. So don't tidy your garden, folks. So there's one eating, who's there? Eating an apple that's fallen from the tree. And then it goes on to say nesting. The fieldfare breeds in northern, central and eastern Europe, with only a few pairs nesting in northern Britain. The nest is a cup of grasses, twigs and mud lined with fine grasses, built in the tree but sometimes on the ground. The nest is often exposed, but several pairs of birds build nests near each other and are aggressive towards intruders. People, cats and magpies coming too close are dive-bombed with angry cries and sometimes splattered with their droppings. Sounds like the cicadas. They spray liquid at you if you walk under the trees. Winter fruit. If an apple is past its prime, store it somewhere dark, and come winter, fieldfares will be grateful for it. And the rowan berries are the fieldfare food. And if you don't know what rowan berries look like, they're those there. And then finally, we have nesting information, April to May, 1 or 2 broods, 4 to 6 red, speckled or pale blue eggs. Wow. 13 to 14 days incubation, female. 14 days fledging and 2 weeks until independent. Who has seen one of those? And who has seen those eggs? Wow, that's something to see, I would think. Let me see. Everyone's saying hello. Jeannie says, hello, party people. Hello, party people. That's cool. And I always like Jeannie does love her emojis. Always happy emojis there. That pink wave is what I normally do on channels. I normally do the pink wave. Cool. Everyone's saying hello. So cool. Love birds. Okay. Now, this next one today is kind of two things. It's what one shall I pick then? What one shall I pick? Let's pick this and then I'll explain why it's two things. The reason it's two things is it's tips and hacks, and it's gardening tips and hacks. So technically it's the gardening section today as well. But because it's the gardening section as well, I will do a whole list of garden tips. And seeing as I've just seen that was my title today, lots to share today. Tips, hacks, jokes and more. So yeah, so let's do a whole load of gardening tips, and this is reduce problems in the garden. Reduce problems in the garden, if only. Choose new plants wisely and make sure that they are not too tender for the climatic conditions in the area. Check as well that the soil and light requirements are correct. And when I have time, I'm going to do a big video all about potash, potassium, nitrogen, and all those lovely things. I know where I'm going with that. It's going to be very interesting facts about those things. So do look out for that. When buying plants, make sure they have abundant roots and sound stems. Do not buy plants or shrubs with brown patches. That goes without saying. Avoid container grown plants that lift easily out of pots. That's a good tip. Prepare the ground thoroughly. Poorly drained soil can be the basis of root rotting diseases. Plant in the correct way and proper place. This will reduce the risk of problems due to wind, rock, frost damage, poor root development, light deficiency, drought, or waterlogging. And I have been told that when you do trees, plant trees, it is wrong to do the way we've all been taught to do trees and tread on the earth round the tree when you've planted it. That is now thought to be not the best thing because you're compacting the soil. And if you've been watching my new fruit trees, they are ones where they're weird fruit trees, but the roots grow this way along just under the top of the soil, not downwards. They spread this way. So of course, if you're going to tread all round the trees, then that will damage the roots of that type of fruit tree. And I've got a lot more coming up on those. Avoid overcrowding. This encourages mildew and other diseases. Plants can die due to dry roots at planting time or during the first season in the garden. Water during any dry spells. Now, I always water the hole and water the plant in its pot. Then I transplant and then I water again. That's what I do. Inspect plants regularly to catch problems early. This way, a few slugs or insects can be removed by hand or first spots of disease treated how you will. Now, I don't use any sprays or anything like that. I use all natural things. And if you're growing plants to transplant outside from a greenhouse, I recommend that you bring in, however you want to do it. In America and some other countries, you can actually buy bugs. If you could do that, great. Get your good bugs in, put them in your greenhouse, and they will eat any bad bugs. Provide frost protection if necessary, as frost and snow can cause great damage. Remember, most plants or shrubs need feeding, especially in the early growing season. Check with the garden centre or use a good gardening book for information or feeding. There are different techniques for pruning plants and shrubs. Don't do them all the same way. And one of my top tips has always been when you are taking cuttings, you are supposed to disinfect your secateurs between each cut of different plants. But when I do transplants, I mostly use honey. So instead of rooting compound, I've done an experiment this year of some in rooting compound and some in honey to see if there's a difference. And if you use honey, that will get rid of any disease that you may have picked up from cutting through different plants. Jeannie saying, I live in Florida, lots of sun here. I hope the tornadoes aren't heading across your way. I was watching about those just before my live. They've had some really terrible ones, Odahi and Oklahoma, where they often get them, but they look like they're moving across. So keep safe, anyone that is in Midwest is where they are at the moment. But they reckon there was, I think, 39 in succession or something. Madness, pure madness. And I watched a film clip today, a news clip, and they actually had all the houses in some areas are just totally gone. It's just like planks and whatever, because they're mostly wood built houses. They're just laid to the ground with foundations. That's all that's left. And then there was one house, looked a bit battered, but was still there. And I thought, wow, how is that one there when it wasn't a few got hit? It was like the whole town got totally hit. And then the newsman said, you see this house here, you might think it's not damaged, but it's actually been picked up and moved by the tornado. And its foundations they swung the camera around and it travelled quite a long way from where the house was. Seems like a nice place to live. Yes, as long as you don't want pictures with alligators. If you want to see madness with alligators, go on Jeannie's channel and you will see them there. But if you like nicer animals, then Steve and Tina have got a really good short up, and it's Rover, their dog, sitting with Tina, and talk about chilled out, this dog. Talk about chilled out. It was really nice little short there. Okay. Let's go on to something I think I was talking about last week. Just catch comments. Jeannie says, no, I'm deep south. We have hurricanes starting June. Yes, I spent many a time in Cuba and Bahamas and that sort of region. And I know, yeah, once the holidays started getting cheap in those areas, it was hurricane, sort of Bahamas and those sort of places. Sort of September would be when they really got badly hit. I know your dog's called Rover, Steve. That little video of Rover did well. Yes, I saw it today. That was really sweet. He's such a cutie, he really is. So we need names for my hamster. And then maybe you'll see him for real when we get a name for him. Maybe He's very shy. He runs off after he's done his wheel thing, but maybe we'll see him for real one day. But he's definitely not coming out why he hasn't got a name. Okay, so yes, we're going on to something now that I talked about, I think last week on my lives. So I'm not running off today. I'm trying to be calm. So what we talked about was, I was saying about how we did a really funny live, I think, was it last Wednesday? Last Wednesday on this channel, we did a really funny live. But I also did a very funny one I talked about on my Everything Dance Your Mentor channel, alive. And it was only me, because I do it at really weird times, so I don't normally get people in on that, because I'm there to tell my life story. If you're interested in that, then go and watch Everything Dance Your Mentor. And I've only done, I think, part 1, 2, and 3. So you do need to start the beginning, really. You can drop in and drop out of it, but if you want to know my full career of dance, starting from the age of 3, yes, then you will go and look at that. But this, I was talking about how some things are funny after the event. And this was something that really traumatized me. I can't remember. I'm going to say I was 6 or 7. I can't be sure, but I'm going to say I was probably this, what I talk about in a minute. It was 6, but by the performance, let's say I was 7, maybe. I'm just guesstimating. So what I'm going to do is play you that little section of the traumatic story that sticks with me till this day. So let me just find it for you. Share the screen. Oh, that's it. I'm like, oh, it's brought me up. That's not right. No, it's me when I was doing that live. Oh, dear. There it is. So I'm going to play that, leave you with that, and then I'll come back to you. Just this little story I want you to watch. So do. So we learnt that, and we had to learn the song. Most tap dances we learnt songs with. It was song and dance, but not Rupert. We did sing that, I don't think. Maybe you could if you wanted to. Anyway, so I did Keystone Cops, and we sang If You Want to Know the Time, Ask a Policeman. And at the same time in ballet for the show, we were learning Red Chinese. Now it was called Red Chinese because it was red tutus, a little Chinese round hat, and fans. And I was in that going to be in that in the show, and the Red Chinese dance had a long line, very typical of the day, that you always started with the tall one in the line and worked to the smallest, or the biggest in the middle and down like that. That's always a thing. You can't be random. You've got to look the right patterns. And this dance, she started from the tallest down to the smallest. Now, as I say, I was always a quiet child, quite nervous child, and I wish I'd got it in my head sooner that sometimes in tap dancing, for example, they'd show you how to do a time step, and then you'd all do it, and then maybe she'd break it up in, if it was a big class, groups of 4, you do it, now you do it, you do it. Or music would play and you had to be ready. It was good to always be ready. She didn't stop and start music. So as soon as they finished, you started, and so on and so forth. So that was quite good. Got another cat in here now. That's why you're wobbling. It's Mr. Colin Waffles. They're waiting for their dinner. So she would do that, or 4s. Or she would say 1 at a time without music. That used to petrify me, and I don't know why. And it took me a long time to not go first, because I thought go first and get over with. But then I might not have quite got how to do it with the music or something. If I'd have waited a bit further down the line, I would have seen it a few times. Anyway, so with this Red Chinese dance, she had us tallest to smallest. And there was a bit in it where you had to turn round, like Carews almost turning round with your fan. And that's the only bit I can remember of the dance, because trauma. We all had to turn to the right. Now, I've never had any problems with left and right or anything like that. Turn to your right. And there was this girl, name and shame, Louise, on my right. And she was bigger than me, so she was older than me. And every time we did this turn, we would have to turn. This is my right to me. It's probably backwards to you, but this is my right hand. We had to turn to the right, fanning all the way round. And every time I started to turn, Louise would turn the wrong way and we would be face to face. Now, being myself, I thought it must be me wrong. So I'd then sort of stop and go the other way. And I wasn't a child that did things wrong, really. It was this girl, she hadn't been next to me, all would have been fine. And this teacher, Miss Anne, and if any of you know Miss Anne, you'll know what stage school I went to. She would stamp her foot, clap her hand, yell at the top of her voice. It was the days of dance school where you got slapped on your leg if you were doing something wrong. She would shout and yell, and you can't shout me. If I'm doing something wrong, explain it. If she'd just come down, said nicely, Dawn, you were doing it right. This, and physically tell me this is the way to go every time, this way, you're fine. No, she just shouted out, someone's going the wrong way. So it's me. It's got to be me, hasn't it? Anyway, next time we get to that dance, that part, because we kept practicing, I thought, oh, I started to go the wrong way when I was going the right way. Then I changed my mind. So I go the wrong way. Oh, the music gets stopped and blah, blah, blah. And everyone starts like, and by now girls are starting to sigh. We've got to start all over again because, as I say, you can't find the bit of music like you can today. And anyway, this went on 2 or 3 times. And then, the next time I did go the right way, but she stops the music, bangs her thing, because Louise is still going the wrong way. And I'm like, anyway, then I just cried, ran. The mums used to sit at the back of the hall. This was in a hall. And I just ran and cried and hid in my mum's winter coat. I remember my mum's coat, a big white winter coat, and I hid my head. And I could hear her coming for me. I could hear her coming. And she's like, just come and do it, come and do it. And she never said, you were right first and sorted it out. No, big deal. And she's trying to pull me with my hand. Like, I've got my head down my mum's coat, who's sitting down. And she's trying to pull me. I'm like, no, you can't treat me like that. Just speak to me, explain nicely, give me a hug, I'll be good. And no. So I refuse to go back and carry on. Anyway, next week, I'm petrified to go back. Next week I go back, and my mum, all that week at home, mum's been doing it with my big sister, was in that class as well, because as I say, I started so young that I was always in with older children. So she practiced at home and made my sister be Louise, and whatever way she made Louise keep going the wrong way. So she told my sister, go the wrong way sometimes go the right way. And my mum said, your dancing badge is on this side, don't go that way, go the other way. I think she put a little, you weren't allowed to wear jewelry, I think she put a little mark on my hand or something like that, because we had dance uniform, so you couldn't wear a bracelet or something. I think she put a little mark on my hand. She was doing everything. Anyway, my sister kept pretending to go the wrong way and go the right way, and I just kept doing it. I was like, yeah, I got it, I know. Anyway, but I'm still petrified to go back. So apparently, when we got to that bit in the dance again the next time, I'm like panicking all the way through this. And then we get to that one bit of the dance and I just freeze. I just stood there. I was too scared to go any direction. question. I was just so frightened. So I just literally stopped. The music stopped, the foot banged, the shouting. Oh dear. I don't know which way Louise went that day. She could have still been doing it because of her. I just was in a blind panic, so I just did nothing. Oh dear. So I never know if I was going to go the right way or not. And I thought, well, she can't shout me for going the wrong way. Anyway, she starts coming down because the teachers always were on the stage teaching you on the floor. And she starts coming down. I ran. I went to my mum. And the teacher realised that, oh, okay, let's play what you do with children. Right, Dawn, she said, you either get back now and do it or you're not in it anymore. So I went, I won't be in it anymore. I just couldn't do it. So I said, I won't be in it anymore. I'm not doing it. She said, well, you won't be in the show. I said, I don't want to be in it. I don't want to do this dance. So she thought, that's not working. Anyway, so she left me. And then I think after they'd finished all that dance, they maybe did something else. I went back and joined in. I was happy to do it. I just still wanted that bit of that dance. Anyway, so I did do that dance. Anyway, the next week, Mum practiced again with me. I said, yeah, I'm not doing it. She said, I'm not doing it now. I'm not doing it. No pressure now. Anyway, so I don't know if Mum had spoken to her in the week or not. Anyway, when I went back there, we got to the dance and I just went and sat out. I sat with my mum. So the teacher had realised, oh, this isn't working then, that she's not going to do it. And the dances there were so excellently choreographed. It wasn't one of these schools where one just dances in lines. Every dance was choreographed, so there were patterns and turning in groups and partners here and different groups here. So I get now that I'm a choreographer that it would really have messed it up if I dropped out. You didn't have this thing at dance school where normal dance schools where you go and, oh, if you want to be in the show, or if you want to be in this dance or that dance, you were in it. There wasn't like, oh no, I don't want to be in it. So it was all choreographed. And I realise now I've messed it up for her, but I didn't obviously then. So she needed me back in it. So she came up to me and she said, Dawn, she said, okay, so are you really not going to be in it anymore? And I said, no, I'm not. And I've never answered an adult back. I wasn't rude, but I would never have even said that. I would have been like, not say anything. But I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Thank you very much. No. So she said, well, she said, okay then, she said, but she said, you're also in the Keystone Cops, the policeman dance. So she said, if you're not doing this dance, you're not going to be in the show at all. And I was a bit sad by that. And I went, okay then, because I knew that was the playoff. And she couldn't believe it. Anyway, lots of convincing was going on between my mum and the dance teacher by then. No, every time we did that dance, I sat out. I can't remember what happened with the tap then. I remember learning it, but I don't physically remember the classes after that, whether I did do the dance or I can't remember. I can't remember that. I'll have to ask my mum. Anyway, when it came to the show, I was sad not to be in the show. As I say, it was a proper huge theatre. It wasn't just like a little dance school show. And I did like the other side of it, that I could watch everything. But I remember doing it. My mum often talks about it, that when that Red Chinese dance came on, I shut my eyes or put my hand on my eyes, whatever, but I didn't watch it from beginning to end. So I hope you enjoyed that. I just found it funny. I love doing those lives. I love just what I do for those ones, because I'm trying to talk about my dance right up to and beyond my professional career. I'm trying to start the beginning and work my way through. So I just have in front of me a few key points of that one. I was talking about shows at the beginning, that kind of thing. So I have a few key points. The very first episode of my live stream, I call it my dance journey on lives. And the first one was talking about my first day at dancing, how I started dancing. And the second one was talking, as you heard there, one of the shows. And then I had so much to say. That story took a great chunk that part 3 was continuing with that. Okay, so we've got chat. Jeannie says, when I was six when I fed a swan chips, and when the chips were gone, the swan came for me. It chased me all over the camp. I missed the bus to go swimming. Oh my goodness. She said, I still don't like them. Oh dear. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that, because I was just laughing. Look, I was laughing so much doing that. I just found that quite funny. So, as I say, if you're interested in that, then do go and check out the lives of that channel. Let's run the ticker tape so you can see that one. Everything Dance, Your Mentor, and those ones are on the lives. So, you know, we click for lives. So do have a look at those. You don't have to need to know or be interested in dancing per se. It is my memories. Okay, let's go on and do... let's do this. Just looking at my notes, what game I would like to play today. Trying to think what we haven't played for a while. Let's do... Okay, let's do an easy game. Let's do as many forms of communication that we can think of. As many different forms of communication. How many can you think of? And I'm going to start with semaphore, because I was talking about that. I was talking about that in one of my lives. Jeannie's Point says that was funny. I needed a laugh. Yes, as I say, big trauma in my life, but talking back about it, yeah. Swans and geese are bullies. Thank you, Dawn. Yes, that's why I come and do my lives. You guys probably won't see me for a while, as in I will be here on my lives and I will be posting, but I won't be active. It makes me laugh when you see people go, oh, I'm back. You haven't seen me for a while. Well, when I do that, that's I'm not on other people's channels for a while. I will still do my lives. That gets me away from all the trauma that's happening here at the moment, which I will share when I'm up to it. And I do post. But as I say, you're behind on the posting, which I kind of feel if I talk to you about the trauma at the moment, it won't make sense with the videos you've got coming up. You'll be like, hold on a minute. You've kind of had the start of something. All looked hunky-dory, but I will fill you in, as I always do. But it's devastation at the moment. Devastation. Okay, so forms of communication. Semaphore, Morse code. Communication, walkie-talkies. Oh, what about CB radio? What about lighthouses? Because that's a form of I'll try and put the vowels in the right place this time. That's a form of communication because it's signalling that there's rocks or shallow areas. So buoys as well, B-O-U-Y-S, buoys, water buoys. What about smoke signals? Secret codes, that's a form of communication. Forms of communication. What about guide dogs for the blind? They have to communicate when a non-hearing person, someone knocks on the door or something like that. Steve and Tina Jewell say photos, very good. Video, very good. Well, animal noises, they're communicating to each other. Animal noises. Hand gestures, naughty or nice. Don't forget to hit that. See, that's communication. Naughty ones. What about even whistling? Now, you've got a whistle, and that communicates commands, but you've also got like wolf whistles, or someone, I can't do that. Can any of you do it when you put your fingers in your mouth and whistle? I think I've talked about, she's kind of my great aunt. It's my nan's brother's wife. Is that great aunt? Anyway, I've talked about her before. She looks exactly like Hyacinth Bouquet. It's from an English comedy program. If you don't know, who tried to be really posh. She looked exactly like, I've showed a picture before, photo of her before, and everyone agreed, my goodness, she does. She looked exactly like her, not a bit like her, but not like her at all. She is lovely. She is absolutely lovely. And she's not prim and proper as in trying to be. She's just a really well-dressed lady and really nice. But then she'll suddenly put her fingers in her mouth and do the loudest shrill whistle she can do. No. Thumbing someone, yes. Steve says, never been able to whistle like that. No, nor me. Nor me. Maybe that's one of, we should make lists of things we'd quite like to be able to do. That would be on mine. Yeah. Some people do that. Some people do, is it the middle finger, and some do 2 fingers? Not sure, but yeah, whistling's definitely a form of communication. Writing, speaking, thumping someone, so definitely thumping someone, that says a lot. Telegraphs, well, yeah, telegraphs, but telegrams. Just actions in general, any action you do, like Steve said, thumping someone, it's a form of communication. You certainly don't have to be able to speak to get your feelings across or speak a language. So language is form of communication. Oh, kissing, that's a good one. Kissing's a good one. What about sign language? Sign language is a good one. I can do BSL, and if you don't know, that's British Sign Language. I don't know American Sign Language. I know a few words, but they are totally different. It's just like a different language. They are totally different. I did BSL. Singing, yes, Steve, singing. Even dancing. Dancing is a form of communication. Writing a letter, writing a book, telephone, computers, social media, talking. Even your eyes, you can communicate with your eyes. And I'm sure a lot of people during the pandemic realised a lot more how much people's eyes give them away. So your body language as well, your body language is a really big form of communication. And I did that in my psychology, so I can read body language. And on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, I have a whole series. Oh, it's got a playlist. What's it called? Who Are You? I think it's called. Who Are You? Something like that. And it's some of the things I did in psychology, but in a fun way. So it might be how you draw things and then you do it, or there might be little quizzes and how you answer, you add it up. And I also did lives on that channel. What days lives? They were random lives. Might have been Thursdays. Is on my board? Yes, I think it was when I do Thursday live. So if you look at my channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, go on lives, and I did different pictures for different days, lives like I do here. And any of the Thursday ones, I can't remember what the picture was for them, but the Thursday ones, Inspirational Thursday Thoughts, that's it. Inspirational Thursday Thoughts. But as I say, there's also a playlist of main videos of some of those things as well. But each Thursday, I would do a whole quiz. And again, I used to do those lives at really bizarre times of the day because I was just using it to do a whole quiz rather than filming it, edit, put it up. So there's those. Fax and texting, says Steve. Typing. Has anyone still got a typewriter, a manual typewriter? Yeah, recording. So sound. Just facial expressions. That's, you really just need facial expressions. Lip reading, that's a good one. Stephen Tina's got lip reading. That's one of those things, the more you think about it. Walkie-talkies. I think I said that at the beginning. I said CB radios. Yeah, communicating. Just even by listening, you're communicating because someone's trying to tell you something, and to give an ear and listen, you are communicating that, tell me what's happened. So even that is a form of communication. What about what you wear? Does that really say something about you, or does it not? Are you trying to portray something, or do people make assumptions about who you are by what you wear? That's an interesting one. It's like, do some women like to wear power suits for certain jobs, and some think different colours that they wear mean different things, which they do. I did a video on that on my other channel. Policemen. Oh, yeah, so uniforms. And they do spend a lot of time and money with professionals of psychology to do uniforms now, particularly, would you believe, things like the football shirts for teams. Firemen. Yes. So yeah, think about what colours you wear. And as I say, I did a whole live on my other channel about what colour you wear. So if you're interested in that, do go and have a look over there. Okay, I've gone over my hour. I've got to try and go and chill out and get over today's episode of trauma. Thanks for being here, guys. You really help. Uniforms, yes, says Steve. Yes. I'm sure we all do that. Whatever we feel when we get up is, unless we're doing something particular, is what we wear. So, yes. Our ladies wearing makeup. Yes, that's communicating something by how they do their makeup. People dye their hair as in outrageous colours. So, yes, a lot there. Okay, that's a good finishing point for you to think about a bit more about what you wear and what you're portraying. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel, whether you're live or whether you're watching this back later. Hello to you especially too. And especially thanks to my supporters who are here all the time. I really appreciate that very much. I really do. Steve saying fence lock gate. Okay. What you mean fence lock gate? Fence locked gate. Oh, are you saying that's communicating something? Yes, yes. That does communicate something, doesn't it? Fence and lock gate. Thinking, yes, yes, I got there. That's very deep, Steve. I like these. Steve, it's his morning. He's getting up, getting ready, and whatever else. And he often says that he likes my gains or my little things to think about, gets him going for the day. So, yes. Okay, then. Yes, I'm off now and hope things are going better for you than they are for me. Until next time, as always, Meraki Dawn.